Hey there. So I want to show you how to build a fire in the snow. I'm going to do it inside of my fire pit for my own convenience. But I see a lot of people make mistakes when they're trying to make a fire in snow. You know, they'll dig down to through the snow down to the ground, which is what you should do. But then when you build your fire from there, in the snow and in heavy snow, you really want to build your fire a little bit differently. Typically, how I build my fire is how I have my fire pit set up. I have a air ventilation system that brings air into my fire pit. And when you're out in the forest, you kind of want that too. You want a little airstream to come up through your fire. But how we're going to circumvent all that, I'll show you really quickly. You may have to speed through some of this, but do it in a couple parts. I have a little fire starter from my chop saw in my shop that I'm going to get started with, but out in the woods, I just use my knife with some kindling to cut me some fire starter. Preferred method. Anyhow, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start our fire from the top down instead of from the bottom up. So if you're out in the forest and you really want to conserve your heat, if you started your fire on the ground, a couple logs, set it on fire, that heat's going to just disperse, well, same as it will up top, but you're just going to burn your fire down low and not get everything you can out of your fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to stack this here. So maybe you can't see this down here, but I want to set these logs up so that they will catch the embers as they fall down. As this fire, we're going to burn it from the top down, so I want those embers to have a little place to go when they come down here. I also want to have my wood set up down here so that air has a place to ventilate through there and keep my fire burning nice. So I'm going to set these logs either upright or on their side, but not in this fashion. Property of fire, you want as much surface area as possible. There's a triangle to fire. It is heat, oxygen, and fuel. So if you leave it like this, you have more surface to heat up, to have more fuel. This way you have less surface to heat up, to add less fuel to your fire. So that all being considered, hot chili, get your ball. So I'm putting these mostly upright like this, just a little bit of airspace in there. Hot chili. Get out of here. So now, some of my smaller pieces, you really want to have your smaller pieces up top. Go get my hatchet. Thanks, Tilly. So at the top, we're gonna want some smaller pieces. Hey, good girl, you're so good at helping. Don't get your head caught on fire. So, big pieces at the bottom, smaller as you come up. Keep those edges up, those fresh edges. Something to burn, build on. So, watch out there. Now, I have a couple bigger pieces on the outside to create a wind break. Got a ball. Tilly, what are you doing, nerd? Look at the public. Look at everybody. I think you're crazy, little girl. All right. So, I'm just gonna cut this through like that a little bit. Set these in here. All right, Tilly, you keep dropping your ball in there, dum-dum. All right. So in the woods, you know, I do this a little differently. I spend some time shaving these down in pieces, but instead, let me go grab that shavings I didn't grab a second ago. Yeah, no, fuck it, we're gonna make it. What do you think, Tilly? Think we can make a fire? Get out of here. So my favorite kind of fire to build is a teepee. Make a teepee, small stuff in the bottom, the shavings in the very center, and then build it up to a larger stack outside. You set that on fire, and it's fully engulfed in a short amount of time. We're gonna see if my half-ass measures don't work out. Let's see. Just rub two sticks together. So we'll start this fire from the top down. And then the benefits of this is that your fire will last longer. You'll have your heat right off the top, and you'll be happier, I hope. Anyways, we'll cut this out, start it back up in a minute, see how our fire's going. Thanks. All right, so as you can hear from the fire, you can hear the little snap, crackle. Usually a sign that your fire is nice and set. So, like I said before, you can, with the fire, there's a triangle that needs to happen to make a fire: oxygen, fuel, and heat. So you can think of the wind as your oxygen, the heat are the coals, and then the wood is the fuel, well, the heated wood. So what we're doing is we're just trying to have a really controlled fire, start it from the top down, maximize your heat efficiency when you're out in the snow, because in the snow you would just clear back an area, then you're gonna have ice at the very bottom. Well, when you try to set your tinder on fire down there on the ice, it's just going to heat up the snow, it's going to create steam, and it's going to slow your fire down or kill your fire altogether. So this way you have a surefire way to make a nice fire, and you can get this thing started like that, and yeah, if you had a pot, you could stick it on top and cook yourself up some potatoes, maybe a little piece of steak. Happy camping, happy prepping.